Jehovah Lord, we bless you, we glorify your holy name. We thank you for such a time of this. Father, we thank you for Smart Book Club. We thank you for all the members. We thank you for everybody that is here today. Father, we thank you because 3 years is not a joke. 3 good years is not a joke. A lot of people have seen stuff, their vision starts, but they die. But Lord, we thank you because this vision is waxing stronger and stronger. And we pray that, Lord, it will continue to wax stronger and stronger, and we will empower women like the vision is meant to be. Father, we commit today's occasion, commit today's celebration into your hands. Father, we put you right before us. We pray that you share this occasion in Jesus' name. We ask that every part of this celebration will be to the glory of your holy name. Our book with you will be very enlightening, and we'll open our eyes and our perspective to different areas. We pray that, Lord, all that are yet to come, will bring them here safely. And we pray that at the end of the day, when we are leaving, we get back to our home safely in Jesus' name. We take control of everything. In Jesus' name we pray. In the name of Allah, the beneficent, the merciful. Praise to Allah, the Lord of the world, the beneficent, the merciful, Master of the day of judgment, who is on worship and who alone seek for help. Guide us onto the right path, the path of those whom you have favored, and not the path of those who have gone astray. And we commit all our activities today into your hands, Allah, that at the end of the day we'll have cause to say, Alhamdulillah, Amen.
Thank you. It's something that we've really prepared so well for, I believe, and we look forward to it turning out really well. This club is one that is right at the center of our heart, where we connect with women, we encourage women to read, and we just simply have fun. It's an amazing way to sort of connect with each other, and we hope to grow, bigger and bigger every year. So it's really good to have everyone here this evening, and we look forward to us having a lot of fun. Thank you and welcome. Good to see everyone.
That's the vice president of our great club, and we're happy that it's not it's not coincidental that this is happening. But please, can we all rise to welcome the vision of this vision, and of course, the founder of this dream, our own Tito Obaigo, to the glory of God and service to humanity. Can we please sing for her? For she's a jolly good fellow, for she's a jolly good fellow, for she's a jolly good fellow. And so say all lovers, and so say all lovers, and so say all lovers. For she's a jolly good fellow, for she's a jolly good fellow. Hip hip hip, hip hip, and hip hip hip.
First of all, before I answer the question, I'd like to say thank you all for coming. It's a huge honor to have you all here today. Everyone here today is very special to every one of us in Smart Book Club. You are all special to us. You are all in a very tender place in our heart. I would like to say thank you so very much for coming. We're really elated. We're so happy to have you. You all look so beautiful. This is not the King conference, but we're all looking so beautiful. So I'd like to start by saying, smart. A lot of people just think it's just Smart Book Club, but the S is for seasoned, where the women in Smart Book Club, they're seasoned women. We have women from all walks of life. We have a doctor in our midst. We have the officer of the law in our midst. She's a police officer, a high-ranking police officer. We have bloggers in our midst. We have the chief matron, chief matron in our midst. We have fashion designers, creative directors, we have visionaries, we have humanitarian people in the humanitarian industry. We have
all walks of life. Amazing, strong, powerful women. You know, so when we connect, we're connecting because we're empowering each other. We're connecting because we are learning from one another. We're building upon each other's strength. We're not tearing each other. We're not tearing ourselves down. We're just there to build ourselves, to self-develop, to have fun. You know, you want to go to a place where the vibes is just positive. Positive vibes every time. Our book review session is always positive. And so the M is mindful. We're mindful. We have a powerful life coach, you know, who's sitting over there. You know, when you want to talk anything finance in Nigeria, she's one of the top life coaches in Nigeria.
Fantastic.
So what are we talking about?
Together for that.
So what are we talking about? We have articulate women. We didn't just gather ourselves together, you know, just for the fun of it. We have articulate women. We have resourceful women. Every member of Smart Book Club is resourceful. They are Every member of Smart Book Club is making money, is doing one thing or the other. We have people that work from home, but they're still making money. So they're resourceful. They're not just there doing nothing. They're all resourceful. And then the T stands for tenacious women. Ever tenacious. Smart Book Club is not, it just didn't start like that. You know, it's been topsy-turvy. We've had hiccups. Women always struggling to read. When we first started, trust my women in Smart Book Club, they can read one book in 3 months. They are still struggling. What's happening? I don't know. You know, but they can sit on Instagram for hours, checking the latest styles, checking the latest hairstyle. They are there, liking every picture on Instagram. But tell them to read. They say, can we move it to next month? Oh, we are not done. Let's move it. But that's when we started. But now, you know, Smart Book Club women are not just reading the books that we pick in Smart Book Club. They go to the bookstores themselves to read. People say reading is boring. No, in Smart Book Club, we don't make it boring. We read books that are relatable, books that will work for you, books that will help your marriage. If we're reading about any book that talks about marriage, we read books that talk about business. We're all business entrepreneurs. There's no housewife anymore. Even those that are housewives, they're working from home. So we read books, you know, that help your business. We read books that will help your finance. I think the first 2 or 3 books we read talked about, you know, how to manage your finance and smart money something. And then we talked about the pressure cooker or something. You know, we read so many books. So don't try us. We are not on the same level. We are not on the same level at all. So when we all started, we were all rookies. But today, we are champions. And the top alone is where we belong. We're not going to, you know, we're not going to back down. We're going to continue to go up. So that was where the SMART came from. Seasoned, mindful, articulate, resourceful, and tenacious. Please give a round of applause to SMART.
You will still not go yet, Tito. All right, you can see. So Tito, you want to talk this garden and your very special guest. Why with our own setting in your mind? I'm sorry, I'm not interviewing her. I'm just trying to just quickly.
I don't understand. But I will talk.
All right.
I remember when I was a branch manager in one of the commercial banks. Damola was a staff. We worked. I remember that was where it started actually. I used to force them that you guys, you must buy books. I actually got the bookseller to always come to the branch to ensure, you know, that they always get the copy of any book whatsoever every month. They must read. You can't walk in my branch and you will not read. It's not possible. You can't, because I want you to be intellectual. I want you to talk. When they're talking politics, you should be able to contribute. When they're talking finance, you should be able to say something, even if you're not that good in it. When they're talking about technology, you should be able to, you know, say something. there's a lot of insecurity going on here in Nigeria. Do we even know what is happening? A lot of women don't even buy the newspapers. As simple as getting a copy of the newspaper. We actually started by that, by ensuring that every member would every day get a copy of the newspaper, glance through the newspapers. We're all business entrepreneurs. Do you even know what the dollar is saying today? Do you even check, the newspapers to know what is happening in the country? So that was how I started. I remember the first book I started with them was Who Moved My Cheese?
Yes, I didn't want to go there, but since you're there,
Who
let's
Moved
have
My
it.
Cheese? That was the book. That book touched me a lot, and it gave me insights into a lot of things and how I started my book. It's a book that everybody living in a developing country should read. It's a book that talks about how they moved from nothing to one of the best countries in the world, Singapore. You need to grab a copy of that book. It's an old book. I read it when the book just came out. It's an old book, but you need to grab a copy of that book if you haven't read it and you're living in a developing country. We are living in a developing country right in Nigeria. So it's a book that actually touched me, and it's a book that I think every leader in Nigeria should read. They came from nothing to something. And that country is one of the most beautiful, places on earth today. Yeah, you need to know, you need to find out how they started. They started from nothing, like from zero, almost zero. And today, like I said, is the best place you want to visit on the surface of this earth. So today is not for stories, today is just for enjoying ourselves. We just want to have fun, we just want to let our head down. We've done so much talking in the past, so today is just to have fun.
Master
Gideon.
Gideon, what do you do?
Okay, I work in a bank.
A bank as well. But an entrepreneur as well.
Most successful.
Okay.
She's also a banker. Great, a devotion from all we've been having. She's a management consultant. Thank you so very much, ma'am. And so distinguished guest, it's not out of place if we just say this, giving God the place of honor for starting the vision 3 years ago, and today because I think maybe we won't be here today. And it is 3 years on, and we're still waxing strong to the glory of God. Great things He hath done, so lovely the world that He gave us His Son. Yeah, there is life not told and foreseen, and opened the life gate that all may go in. Praise the Lord, praise the Lord, let the earth hear His voice. Praise the Lord, praise the Lord, let the people rejoice. Oh, come to the Father, to Jesus the Son, and give Him the glory. Praise things He has done.
So we're 3 years, and that's what we're celebrating, our 3rd anniversary. It started as a small group, basically to read, to connect, to network, to serve, and to lead. Whatever you do, you must always so that was why yesterday we were at a primary school yesterday, nursery and primary school yesterday, to give back to the society. We gave over 100 school bags. We gave out a whole lot of goodies to celebrate the Children's Day with them. So it was fun. The children, they were so happy. They gave us the happy vibes. We got there and we left the place, with so much joy in our hearts, because the children, they were just radiating with joy. And I think you need to spend time with children, once in a while when you're stressed out and this country is driving you nuts, just spend some time with children. They really made us feel so elated yesterday. So we gave them school bags. We gave each form from nursery 1 to primary 6, each form, 10 students in a class, in a nursery 1 to primary 6, the children that are doing over 65% in the academics. So just to encourage.
Oh my God, this is still working.
So that was what we did yesterday. So in everything that we do, we must always give back to society. So in a nutshell, that's what Smart Book Club is all about. Where women inspired to read and lead. Please tell me now, what are we? We are women inspired to read and lead. All leaders are readers. Have you seen Obama? They've all written books. So I've not seen any leader that does not read. Even our own president, President Muhammadu Buhari. I think they've written a book about him. Even if you don't write, people will write books. Talking about your journey in life. So there's no leader that does not read. So all readers are leaders. Because touch you to that place of deeper understanding. Equip yourselves with the requisite skills in everything that you do. I remember when Nancy Nkiru hosted me to a beautiful lunch, and then she told me that each time she travels, she'll visit bookstores, to buy books. And today she's a leader, she's a director of Globe Motors. She's a leader. So I've not seen any leader that does not read. Everything that you do, the Bible is a total package. Is a total package. You want to talk about love, go to the Songs of Solomon. You want to talk about beauty, go to the Songs of Psalms. You want to talk about wisdom. So it's a total package. Why do even pastors tell us that we should study the word to show ourselves approved? So if you don't read, you are just living. You must read, even as little as carrying your newspaper to read. So what we're saying in Smart Book Club is that we want to encourage women to read. We want to become better. We want to be leaders. We want to be governors. We want to be presidents. Women are saying, we want inclusion. The last International Women's Day was talking about choose to challenge. What are you challenging? You are challenging yourself. How do you challenge us? Are you just going to sit down and challenge? You're going to read. You're going to learn. If you need to learn a new skill, upskill, reskill, upskill, and reskill. So there's nothing you do that you don't read. So that was why we set up Smart Book Club, to encourage women, to encourage the youth. The reason why we went there yesterday was to catch them young. We gave them books to beef up their library. So apart from just reading their textbooks, we're also encouraging them to read all genre of books, story books. Remember when we were young, we read all the story books, and today they're still there. At the back of our minds, they're still, sometimes when you want to talk about love, if you've not read Mills and Boons, you have not even arrived. So that's in a nutshell. And Smart Book Club has been amazing. It's been beautiful. It's a teamwork. Everybody sitting on this table and on that table, and they are all team members. We've not had one
Please, can we put our hands together for the team members?
We've not had one single quarrel. Is it possible, women? 3 years, not one. We've not settled any fight. No quarrel. Everybody talks about love.
Amazing.
When you come in, you will feel the love. If you come to our chat room, you will feel the love. There has never been one single fight. Not one. Nobody has been gossiping about anybody, because we're just too engaged to be fighting, to be tearing each other down. They call it PhD, yes. Pull down syndrome. We don't have all of that. So if you have not joined Smart Book Club, you're what? You're on a long thing.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for having me. I think Madam Tito did everything right presenting the book, apart from the fact that she showed the wrong part. This is the most important part that has my mom. Okay? Because the book is actually about my mom. Okay? And one of the reasons this is very important to me, I mean the Smart Book Club, was we were just searching online to see where are women gathered to read, because this book is actually for them. And then we found Smart Book Club. So thank you so much for putting this together. I will talk briefly about why I wrote the book, and hopefully we have some to also go around. But before that, I want to say my strong belief is that in the same line of things that will transform, or things that have transformed and will transform the world, things like the industry age, things like technology, things like AI and all of that. The next thing is actually unleashing the treasure that lies within our women. That is something that I believe will transform the world dramatically than we can ever imagine. In the same vein, the way internet and technology has transformed the world. That said, I had to write this book for 3 reasons. One was to reward my mother's hard work before I make it. Most times, we children want to make it so that we can buy our parents houses, cars, and what have you. Unfortunately, I grew up without that fast track. So it's going to take me some time to be able to make the money to buy my mom a house or a car. So I want to quickly reward her before I get there. So I decided to chronicle the journey of how she raised us from the streets of Shagamu, actually the bus parks of Shagamu, till I was able to work on the glorified halls of Stanford Graduate School of Business. So, and I'm like, you know, the money has not come, but this woman needs to be celebrated.
That's right.
She needs to be celebrated. So, and one of the things that triggered it was when I was at Stanford, we had this program. It's called Talk. It's actually a setting like this where you have about 250 to 300 of my classmates, and then one person comes up to share a very touching or important story of their life. It's a lottery, so you have to win the lottery to come up to talk. So, fortunately for me, I got the lottery. I wasn't very enthusiastic to share my story because I felt my story is the typical African story. You know, we hustle to make it in life, and then maybe luckily we get to Harvard or Stanford and the likes. But when I finished sharing my story that night, a classmate came to me, a white guy, and he said, you know, MLK, that's what they call me. You need to put this story in a book. And then I was like, oh, thanks. I thought it was a compliment. Then he called me back and said, no, I'm serious. You have to write this book. And then when I graduated in 2017 from Stanford, I just sat down before I got my job and started writing. It took me 4 years to write because I'm not bragging, but it's deep. Sometimes I hardly honor, this is unconventional, but I hardly honor like calls like this to come talk. I don't do it, you know. But I did it for Smart Book Club because every time I talk about my mom or this book, it's always very emotional. So it took me 4 years to actually put this down, back and forth. I sat my mom down and, you know, to put all of this together. My mom gave birth to me after aborting me twice, and I came out miraculously. And then she was subjected to, the typical, what women go through, unfortunately, in our country, where things happen. Okay, I'll tell you the story. My dad had a local tailor. Things weren't going well, so he decided to relegate us back to his village. We were in the village for some time. And my mom, having dropped out of school had vowed to herself, which is why I said the world will change when we unleash the power in women. And my mom vowed to herself that, these my children, they will go to school. One morning, she woke me up and my brother. It was 4 a.m. She took us to the back of the mud house, paid us. We took all our belongings in a Bako super sack and a nylon bag, and we ran out of the village that night. We came to Lagos, and my mom started Alabaru in Okwaba market. When she does that during the day, and then she also prefers to do dishwashing job. That was my mom's favorite job then. And the reason is not far-fetched. When you are washing dish in Alamala store, you have, apart from free food, the remnants come to you. So you're able to put all the remnants, bones, in a nylon bag and bring home. So I do this stall on remnants from people's food in the restaurant. So you see egusi plus okra plus ogbono, everything mashed together with bones of fish, and and then there is eba on the side, that is a mixture of eba and amala, maybe plus sometimes lafu. But this is how we grew up. And then we weren't going to school when we were in Lagos, because my mom is also very stubborn, a very good stubbornness that I appreciate in women. My mom will not take us to public school where she can afford. She will take us to private school. In total, my brother and I went to 7 different primary schools. Why? She will take us to one, they will chase us away for money. She will take us to another one, and then she kept on doing that until she finally took us to this Taisho Laren's school in Ikene, Mayflower. She met Taisho Laren's wife, told her a story, and then Taisho Laren's wife said, I will help you. This is what you will do. I'll give you a job, and then you can enroll your kids in high school. So my mom worked for 10 years without any salary. Till my brother and I finished secondary school. People ask me what drives me. I came out, of course, I had all distinctions, of course. I have to. Not because I was brilliant, but because
You don't have a choice, but
I see my mom. So while
please, let's clap for that, a distinction.
yeah.
A distinction.
So while we were on the assembly ground, either in the hostel or in school, while I'm with my fellow students, I see my mom cleaning. So the only way I can prove that this cleaning is worth it is just to bury my head in books. I had no choice. People think I'm brilliant. I don't think I'm brilliant. It's that every day I see my mom during assembly cleaning. And I'm like, I have to go and prove this woman right. So each time she's cleaning, I'm called on stage for representing the school and winning laurels for the school.
Hallelujah.
And then in 2004, I was best JET student in Nigeria, which was what set me apart.
Amazing.
I got admission into Unilag. I remember when I got into Unilag. When I went to pay my school fees in Unilag, I took 5 naira and 30 naira notes, 12,000 naira. Because my mother had to sell corn in NYSC camp with my brother. When I was in Lagos, they were selling corn so that they could gather the whole, I think it was 52,000. I had saved some money. I remember one thing, I went to the bank, was Wema Bank in Unilag. And when I was giving the cashier the money, she was frowning her face. She said, and she made a statement, where did you see all these dirty naira notes? I said, from the best mother in the world. And then she looked at me and smiled. And then she patiently counted the over 5 naira and 30 naira and gave me my teller. So these were all the things my mother sacrificed till and inspired for me to get to where I am. I mean, today, like I said, I decided to write the book to reward her so that other women can be encouraged. The truth is, I won't be standing before you today. I wouldn't have landed in America, which was my first time of going to America, was when I got admission to Stanford, by the way. I had not gone to the place before. I wouldn't have achieved all I have. I wouldn't have finished with 9 A1s. I wouldn't have finished with the first class. I wouldn't have been student union president in Unilag. I wouldn't have been
Please, a resounding applause for all of these glory. Lawrence.
This is why I really connect with what Smart Book Club is doing. I can imagine if my mother read, it would be times 10.
Baby.
What she has done today. So when I saw Smart Book Club, like women reading, this is explosive. It's going to transform this country. What we are gathered here today celebrating 3 years, by the time we celebrate 10 years of Smart Book Club, the impact will have been astronomical.
Amen.
I know it. It's not because, it's because I've lived it. I've seen a woman labor hard, without education, labor hard to see 2 of her kids have master's degree, not in Nigeria but abroad.
Hallelujah.
And I know that, imagine those that have power, those that have read. You know, Madam Tino was talking about people are reading, women are reading Lee Kuan Yew. They will transform this country.
Yes.
And I am super happy that this generation is unholding other women. I hope that you will expand into getting women like my mother,
Amen.
who are not in Lagos, who can hardly read. Maybe you guys will now start doing reviews in local languages so that they can also learn, you know. And I hope that this is just the beginning of great things to come. And like Daddy Craig said, you will lead this country. And somebody asked me that, do I believe a woman can be president? I said yes. In fact, I'll be the vice president. I believe that strongly.
Of course.
And I'm super happy to be here today. I fondly hope that we will have time to read the book. It's a roller coaster of emotions. Yes, I'm biased, but you will laugh, you will cry, you will smile, and then finally you will send me a text message. Very good. Thank you so much for having me, and let's have a wonderful night. Thank you.
On to the Lord.
And she's a medical doctor. With Luth, she's Dr. Chidima Ajayi. Please, Chidima Ajayi, can you do us the honor?
Please, let's clap for her now.
Chidima, I know you like to talk. Small, just 5 minutes. Let's get out of here. We want to eat and want to dance. Today is not for story, yeah? Please, just do it. Shoki. Not about Shoki. You know you're married to us. You are Chidima, you are dying. So do it. Shoki, not Belge. Read that book to really, it's a very deep book. It's a book that will transform every woman. Thank you so much for donating that book. That book is a treasure to us. And hopefully by the special grace of God, we're going to have our own library. So we have a copy, stored. So when we have our own big library, that people will come and see our library, People travel all the way to China. There's this library that is like round and big like this. So hopefully maybe Smart Book Club will do something like that in the future. So if you can think it, you can make it. You know, Ebony Place, what does she say? If you can think it, you can do it. That's her slogan every time. She says if you can think it, you can do it. So if we can think we can build that library, we'll definitely do it. So I'll just give this back to you.
Congratulate the Smart Book Club ladies on our 3rd year anniversary. Long live Smart Book Club. And I also want to especially congratulate Tito for making this happen. When it started, it was supposed to be a small thing. How it blew up to this, I'm still in awe. But we still thank God it's turning out to be the success that it was destined to be. And also, I also want to talk about the last speaker, Mr. Michael Adesoye. Your speech was very touching, and you see, books like yours is the reason why we want to read them, because we want to be inspired, we want to be motivated. I don't know how they connive to make me do this, but I will do it any which way. I feel honored to be in this position to share my views on the book
I'd oblige you to have it in your hand. So as we open up, I would like to share some pages that I feel resonates with us and is the reason why we're even here and what makes us who we are today. So making a reference to the book, I want to use Mr. Michael Adesanya as a reference, that he's a typical example of what Show Up is actually talking about. For he's obviously a brand, about 4 years. But the thing is, you didn't give up. You still forged ahead to tell your story. And one of the reasons why anyone will want to buy your book or read your book is because your story is true, it's relatable, and it's filled with passion. You even said it yourself, from the way you even started, I was almost there crying. Because I know what it means to tell a story, and that is what a personal brand, that's what building your personal brand is all about. Telling the truth and telling your story and making it believable. No need to fake it till you make it till you die. No need for that. Because at the end of the day, you're going to be exposed. And people are going to be able to see through the fakeness. And you wonder why people are slowly detaching themselves. So that brings us to the beginning of the book. And I want to say that Tolu Michael did a very fantastic job. And it's so ironical that when we chose the book, I have to say my story. I was one of the rebel leaders that did not want to read the book, because I did not join Smart Club to be reading about personal branding. I wanted to hear gist, because I've always loved reading, and because we are women, and you know how it is, we're all hustling these days. Somehow you lose everything you've always wanted to do in your life, and then for some funny reason you don't read anymore. And reading, I will still say it, makes you improve yourself in every sphere of your life. So anyone who is here and is not reading on a long thing, like my president said, you have to start reading. And the reason, and I will say it again, why we don't fight in our club, because we are exposed, we are mature people, we are educated. It's not about packing certificates. We are educated. We have allowed ourselves to experience life, and life experiences us. So somehow we have a way of settling our differences, even though we do have differences, but you don't see us coming and smearing and backbiting. We actually slide into people's DMs and we express our, disagreement. So without wasting time, I would like, if you have the book, can I see so that it's not like I'm alone in this talk. You have your book with you, fine. So let me just go ahead by highlighting some points, and I will mention the page. I will go there, and I'm hoping that it will resonate. I think something must motivate you to want to succeed. Something must motivate you to do something. There has to be a motivation. Doing things by the side, even though we do have a 9 to 5, I'm sure a lot of us, 90% of us here, with the way Nigeria is going, we all have a business by the side. So it's not about farming now. We all need money. I hate the fact that I need to hang out with my girls and I'm looking. When they say, come now, let's show up somewhere so that we can unwind, you are hiding. You are hiding because your pocket is empty. No, it's not a nice feeling. So Tolu started by saying, your motivation to show up is born out of, or should be born out of, you being tired of being broke and running out of cash every week. By the time they pay me salary, my money is finishing that day. We have to come, they say, that it's carried over. So, and then of course, for you to show up, there must be a priority. There's something that must be on your topmost on your mind to make you want to show up, and that is having a source of income. And then the reason for showing up should largely be about change. Showing up for something, to do something, or to change something. So there has to be a reason for you to show up. And I need it to be broad about when we say show up. Mr. Wale and Mr. Michael Adesanya showed up. He was present. He did not run away from what he needed to do to succeed. He did not run away from what he needed to do to see his book come to life. So that is the show up I'm talking about. And what this author did was through a series of chapters that highlighted how we can actually be successful building a personal brand. You know, when you talk about branding, in the past, I used to wonder, what is branding all about? It's not only about when you have a business. You know, it's about, the brand is about you. It's what you bring to the table, how you bring it, how people see you. But we'll come to that anyway. So, she talked about the few chapters, about 12 chapters, and she started by talking about frying fish the modern way. Whether you like it or not, it still amazes me how a lot of people want to run a successful business and you're not online. How far now? How is that possible? The world is now online. Who agrees with me? Like now, businesses are figuring out or trying to figure out how can they sell their expertise online, because the world is a global village. Like, we're living in space. You know, is it not funny how you make friends with people that you've never even seen? You don't even know what they look like. It's just with the keyboard, you know, and it's just amazing. So if you know you have the skill, you have what it takes, and you are still doing it the analog way, I'm sorry, but you can't go far. So tell us, you actually have the capacity of reaching a lot of people if you are online. So why don't you fry fish the modern way? So going digital is the modern way. Just as Tolu said, you go to page 16 of her book, Show Up. The third paragraph, I think I should say, she said something about this explains why the digital business space is exploding. You know, let me start with the third paragraph. People want the freedom to take their skills, whatever it is, communication, health management, graphic design, marriage counseling, weight loss coaching, and share it with the world. So it's not about just the people you know around you, family and friends. Nobody even sells to family and friends. You want to just take it further, you know, by sharing it with the world. And the world is also searching for people from whom can learn new things. So if you have fish to fry, please fry it the modern way. So that's the summary of chapter 1, if I'm not mistaken. So moving on to chapter 2, where it talks about starting with multiple talents. I remember it's so amazing these days that you go to school and you study a particular course, maybe banking and finance, and then many years down the line, the person that studied banking and finance, what am I even talking? Let me use myself. Let me use myself as an example. I studied, my father spent money and trained me in medical school for 6 years, and I spent 1 year saving to know more about my skill, house job. Then many years down the line, I'm Taylor. Like, now, how is that? But it's all about wanting more. You know, and not wanting to be broke. In as much as you get paid or a high paid job, there's still this thing about wanting more. And then if you like good things, you need to fund that kind of living at one way or the other. It's not about being broke all the time, but you just want more. So, the thing about what Tolu struck me, what she said that struck me the most in that particular chapter is, of course, being able to work with, discover your talents. The page 27, she said something about, but the beautiful thing about discovering your multiple talents is being with the right people in your circle, getting the right people in your circle. They're the ones that will help harness those talents. Okay, they're rushing you. Ideas, but let me go straight to what it's called. If you want to have a profitable business, it's not just to have passion. Passion doesn't make it again. No. Are you solving a problem? That's the angle you should come from. What problem do you want to solve? Trust me, that business will sell. If you're not to, buy what you're selling. So moving on, rushing. So, in your streets, you have people selling bread. No, we don't want to. You have people selling bread that somebody is going to. That means there's something special. Before we used to think it's juju they're using. We said juju job. It's not juju. They want to be the ones that solve. Like now, every woman is looking for how to lose weight. So you're not going to go to the bread that they're packing sugar. You know, you want to go to the one that is selling how to make else that's doing the same thing. There are 4 things you need to consider. 1, the information about you online. So you need to be very careful about how you position yourself online. The internet, like we say, never forgets. So if you know that future, then start to be careful about what you do now. So number 2, the experience they have with you. Can people say? What would you say is experience that people? How will people define you based on the experience they've had with you? And what can you say about yourself? And first, what other people say about you. So the experience people have with you, like if you want to sell a successful business, you must have, you know, they say it's not about selling the products. It's about having an emotional experience. When the person has come in contact with you, there must be an extra feeling that makes you want to keep coming back to them. So you need to be very careful. Don't say, oh, because I had the best product. Anyhow you want to talk to that person, you can be rude, you can do because you will come back. My dear, some people are ready to die not having it rather than go back to you. And with time, news goes round. So you need to be very careful about the experience people have with you. And what can you say about yourself? Are you proud of who you are? Are you proud of how you handle people? And then what can you say? You know, there's some people that die and you hear a lot of things people say about them. It's actually very touching. I attended a funeral service recently, and I never met the woman. I just knew her daughter from a distance. But the world showed up for that woman, even after death, and they said so many lovely things. I'm not gonna lie, I shed a tear or two. Maybe I will probably even cry because people were touched. Even people she promised to touch them, as in she left an experience, she left footprint. And I think that's the legacy that everybody should live for. Okay, moving on, we're almost there, don't worry. Find your uniqueness. That's what she proposes. Moving on. See, I'm moving very fast. I'm not ending. It puts me here, so I'm going to continue. So, should I stop?
Stop, John.
No, this is the longest group. Can I stop? Yes. I should continue.
Stop. Yes.
If you know you want me to continue, raise up your hand. Oh.
Hey, Chidima.
Okay, at this junction.
Just round it up.
Okay, I'll round it up. Anyway, the long and short of it is that for us to be successful, we need to be consistent in what we have to do, and we need to be unique. You know, and then of course there are methods to this thing. When you get people who like you and who want to sell to you, you don't just use them, like connect them and keep them. You must form a relationship. I always tell people that your encounter with people does not always have to be transactional. There has to be a relationship. Like I know that this evening, Mr. Adesanya has formed a relationship with us. So it's not about strategically marketing his book, because now he has emotionally coined us. We are going to use his book, if it's my president's permission. We're obviously going to carry his book on our head and we're going to read it and we're going to critique it. So I must say that you really showed up. So I must say that that's what Tolu succeeded. And then she said, in trying to show up, a lot of things are going to come up. For example, fear. Everybody knows that fear is a limiting factor in preventing us from achieving us from being the very best. But she said, if you must be fearful, then you must be wise about that fear. Fight your fear, because you know that you are working towards a goal. Let me see how she said it. We're rounding up. We are finished. Don't worry. So she said something about fear that, I mean, these are the kind of authors we are looking for. People that are very impactful. You know? So she said, be smart about your fear. You must progress in spite of your fear, because you have a goal. Secondly, you must review your use of social media. You know, a lot of people just use that social media to do rubbish. But remember that you have a brand to build and protect. And then you have a committee, try to have a committee of champions, that your cheerleaders. Remove yourself from a circle of people who do not cheer you, who are fast to tell you or dissuade you and add to your fear. So you don't need those. They may not be bad people, people, but they're not the people that you need to get to where you want. We need to keep showing up. On the last chapter, which is the chapter 12, page 229, you will take time to browse why she feels you need to show up. Not necessarily to sell, but to also show the world what you are made of and what you have to offer, and let the people know that you are very unique, you're a unique person, you have gifts, you're powerful, and you just want to give other people permission to learn from you and ask you questions and basically lend your voice in basically all the things that are happening right now. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, if you ask me, that wasn't good enough applause for Dr. Chidinma Ajayi, the reviewer. It's not really easy to review a book when you need to study, read it hard to understand the narrative or the perspective of what the. As I respectfully want to give honor to whom honor is of the State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Titi Osini. With all due respect to you, as mother, we want to thank you today. Well, thank you. We can understand that you are part of it speaks volume, and that's why we believe that the future is really bright for SBC. And we did say governors will come out of them, ministers will come out forth, presidents too will come out forth, and speakers too will come out forth, and more like that, to the glory of God. Well, moving on at this time, we've done the review as it should be.
That name, Kingsley, and I paid a huge price to get me. All right. I'm sure we're all having fun. I've been having fun, nipping away on my food. And it's amazing, honestly, to see so many beautiful women. And thanks to Chidinma, our reviewer, she talked about products, right? She talked about value. And I believe Smart Book Club is a good product. We're attracting the right people, aren't we? Yes. I'm so happy to be associated with this club. Thanks to my darling friend, Tito, we've known forever. And I was really excited, at the time she asked me to join the club. And I don't have any regrets. I look forward to many beautiful years. So at this point in time, I remember Chidinma also talked about, she talked about you being able to sell yourself, right? Being able to fry your fish in a different way. And we're happy to, use this opportunity to recognize all their efforts. What am I talking about? When we started 3 years ago, we had quite a number of women, amongst us here today, who have been consistent. Every time we called for book reviews, they were available. They came, they showed up, they participated actively. And so today, as part of our 3rd anniversary, we will also be using this opportunity to welcome them into the Exco community of the Smart Book Club. Without further ado, I would like us to recognize 3 special ladies in our midst, members of the Smart Book Club, who will be admitted into the Exco. First of them, of course, is Dr. Chidinma Ajayi, who just finished with the review. As you can see, she's a wonderful product within this product, Smart Book Club. She does fantastic work at reviewing books. So we're honoring her today by inviting her into the Exco of SBC. So let's give her a round of applause. The second person would be Lillian Elemchukwu. I call you can come up here so that we can all celebrate you and take photos. You can come out so that we can celebrate you and take photos as well. Dr. Chidinma Ajayi, Lillian Elemchukwu. Last but not the least, another very important person here with us is Bumi Toluju. Where's Bumi? As you can see, we're all beautiful women in the club. So I'll let you take a photo of the 3 of them.
Sorry.
or the other, they really showed up. So we're happy to have them join the Expo of Smart Book Club. That's how we recognize ourselves. That's how we celebrate ourselves. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you. These three ladies they've been amazing. They're strong, powerful women. Each time we call a meeting, they're always there. Chidima, for one, is our reviewer. When we're stuck, Chidima is always there to bail us out. Because you know these people, when you tell them you are reviewing, that person won't come online that day. The day you say, you are the one reviewing the book, you know, during our book review meeting, you start hearing, the internet is not working in my area. You won't see the person won't turn up, but Chidima is always there to rescue us. She's been doing that consistently and tenaciously. Chidima, thank you so much. And Lillian, Fiona is the chief whip, but Lillian, I think, is going to be the chief whip. She's the one always always there to see, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? You came late. You did this. So I think she's going to be our chief whip. If you agree with me, she'll be our chief whip. And Bumi is my darling. Bumi has always been my friend. She's always been my friend when I was in the bank, in the banking industry. And she's always been there with me all along. And then when I started this club and I, put a call through to her, she was just like, okay, anything you want me to do, I'm always there. And she's always there. She's been tenacious as well and consistent. So Bumi, thank you so much for being a part of Smart Book Club SBC. A lot of people were skeptical, initially. They didn't think, this club was going to become anything. Actually, some people joined and left. But, we're still here, we're still existing. It doesn't matter. As long as you know that you're doing the right thing, just keep doing it. And the sky is just the beginning, not the limit, it's the beginning. Okay, thank you so very much. So we're just going to take a picture. Oh, Chidima is the reviewer now. We'll talk about that. It's an in-house thing.
I can't wait to see you. You are the treasure I've been waiting for. Do you know how much I need you? I live there for the day when I can finally kiss you. I say every day I pray for you.
Just quickly have the honor of having Lonnie to please, with all courtesies being extended to you, to just out this evening with members of the Smart Book Club. Mrs. Olonini, please, with all courtesies, wherever you are, can you please come to the microphone?
Good evening, beautiful ladies. I'm delighted to be here this evening. First of all, I would like to congratulate the visionary, the president of Smart Book Club. As a matter of fact, when I was invited, it was like in Lagos, there are women, a club that what they do is to, read. And tonight is a special night where a book will be reviewed. I said, please, can I have a copy of the book? And it was sent to me. I was really thrilled, and it really interests me that I'm just here to see. I want to see what is really going on, what is happening. That in Lagos, you have women that have the time to come together. I mean, it's really amazing. And that means that, the visionary, the team, the executive, they are really doing a great job to be able to bring women together. I know what I'm talking about because I'm a pastor's wife. It's not easy. And for women to come together, love, from what I can see around, I can see great love, it speaks. So there's no pretense. You can see that there is genuine love among, the club members. So that's a great thing. Please, I want you to keep it up. And you have not seen anything. I congratulate you, the 3rd anniversary. By the special grace of God, the Lord will take you higher in Jesus' name. No matter what is happening, in this country. You know, the Lord will take you higher in Jesus' name. It's good to have a vision and to see, you know, the vision growing in your hands. You know, by the special grace of God, we had a vision 20 years ago, you know, to start a thrift, you know, company. 20 years ago, myself and my husband. And along the line, you know, that business transformed to a community bank. Along the line, we barely settled as a community bank before we transformed to become a microfinance bank. We are among the first 10, you know, that was licensed by Central Bank of Nigeria to operate a microfinance bank in Lagos State. And today, we have over 20 branches in Lagos State alone. You know, that was a vision that started. It started very small. Again, I would like to be part of what is going on. Thank you very much.
Very good, love video on thank you very much. And a quick one, and if none at all, if you have a word or two for us, ma'am, I can come to you. Wouldn't mind. You just speak to us, and at the same time, equally have a lady, Mrs. Nkiru Anumudu, to also share a word with us. Okay. All right, now.
Just a word.
Good evening, everyone. I want to start by thanking God for today. The beautiful women that you can never imagine being present at this occasion. I want to celebrate with the Smart Book Club on this, their 3rd anniversary. What my sister just said, now coming in and finding out that there's a club for women, and what they do there mainly is read books, review books and all that. Let me also join in congratulating you that this is a good feat. This is something that we're all proud of to be part of. So I want to join you. This is your 3rd year. I pray that the good Lord will continue to be with you. Now that you are celebrating 3 years, you will live to celebrate many, many more years to come. To see that women out of the busy schedule that we all have really have time to sit down and read books. This is the way we should also bring up our children. 1 book per week. I hope you can all do that. So once again, let me congratulate you and say that we need more women. I will also join if I'm invited. Congratulations and God bless.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Together on wine at the settings like this to actually critique books that you have read. So why have you chosen this place today? Is it in line with that vision, or it is coincidental, or rather incidental to have it done here today?
Well, I think that question should be directed to the chairperson of the planning committee. I wasn't part of Nolade Adeshaki.
Is she here?
Question should be directed to her. However, before we answer that question, I would like to call every member of Smart Book Club to please stand up for recognition. Please just stand. Supportive, you've always been there. I just like to say thank you so very much from the very bottom of my heart. I appreciate you all. I really, really do appreciate you. I always say that I've built strong sisterhood connections with every member of Smart Book Club. Every member of Smart Book Club, you all have a special place in my heart. Like, we're bonded for life, whether you like it or not. We are bonded for life. We are together 10 years, 20 years, just like your husband. These ones are bonded. You found new soul sisters. We're soul sisters. People say, why women? Why women? Why women? Well, I just wanted something to make women, feel comfortable. A place where you can go to and let your head down. A place where
you don't feel like, oh, there are no restrictions. You just have fun. We can say anything. We talk about our husbands too. We talk about, we read about them. We, help each other. We talk about everything. So you can imagine talking about our husbands and one man is there. It's a problem. So we want to talk about everything. We talk about children. We talk about politics. We talk about, we read fiction, non-fiction, classical books. We read all genre of books. And I have some of the books here. We have over 20 or how many books that we read so far. Amazing, I'm sure we probably wouldn't have read this book if we were not in Smart Book Club. But Smart Book Club has made us, read this book. Thank you so very much, every member of Smart Book. I don't know if anybody has anything to say. Any member of Smart Book Club? The floor is open. Do you have just one thing to say before we start dancing?
Okay, I'm very lovely.
Yes. We're destined for the top. So thank you all so very, very much. I love you all from the very bottom of my heart. You're all my soul sisters. God bless you for joining. God bless you for spending money. For buying those books. Sometimes they say, oh, this book is too expensive. But they still buy it. Me, I don't give up. I won't even go online when they're debating whether the book is expensive or not. I won't go online. They will buy it. Especially that Chidima. He's a rebel.
Wanna make love on my home, dancing to my tunes, easy to my
Touch each other or touch the knife, you can reach it. If not, just touch each other. Okay, we're going to spell hook, and at the end of the K, we'll cut the K. Can someone give me a P?
They want to light the sparkler.
O, and let's pronounce it together. Oh, congratulations.
Well, Big is a household name in the tourism sector, the former DG, Nigerian tourism. I think I'll get that right now, but minus that, Lagos State Ministry of Information and Strategy. And we want to thank you so much for that, which was delivered, as expected, but not disappointed. And Madam has always been doing great, but one man has been there for her. And by her side has always been Pastor Omotosho, our father in the Lord. We thank you for being the supportive pillar this far in the journey with our DG. We thank you so very much, and you will always be a reference point to us. So please, can we applaud them for me on my behalf? We say thank you for the great job done always. We bless God for your life.
Thank you.
So DJ, to have a photo session with a visionary bass dreamer. Oh, thank you. Bless you. Yemi, you should join here. Right, sister. All right, thank you. Pastor and Mrs. Omotosho, please, to have a time out. Please, members. Worship. Brother Michael Adesoya and the spouse. Please get ready. A wonderful team. Then, Lolade. Where's Yemi? As the publicity secretary, she must be available. Mighty Mixi, Kini, Yama, Kuita, and Dolo. So it won't buy money. All right, dancing time.
You may not really know the value of the gentleman MC that had been coordinating the activities since we started. But I do know, because he's not just a veteran in the profession of broadcasting, that we both found ourselves over 30 years ago. But then he was actually one of our senior staffs when I was executive chairman. I was board chairman of Lagos State Broadcasting Corporation. He had always been in the television industry, and way back 26 years ago, he stood up. I never told you this, but this is the ample opportunity to let you know. Please give him a round of applause. He stood up way back 26 years ago. So don't think it's just one of the call themselves MCs. But when you're looking for a professional one, that is a gentleman. That is a gentleman. And I commend you for all that you've been doing for so many years. I remember when I was there at LSBC, Lekon Kubango was my general manager, radio, and Jimmy Odumusu was my general manager, television. And you gave them all the support. And by God's grace, I see you going higher and higher because you have paid your dues. Please, let's give him a round of applause. Tonight may not be about him, but you give honor to whom honor is due. It's not about him, but for me to walk into this foyer and I heard his voice, he saw me before I saw him. And he quickly came and said, "Oh, Chairman, how are you?" Something spoke to my inner mind. And you may wonder, what could that be? Tito and her team, the kind of people they are, they go only for the best. Bola Tito, you chose well. And coincidentally, Bola Tito is my daughter in the Lord, because my husband had been her pastor for so many years, and her uncle. And her uncle. So when she was going to get married, she had to come to me and Daddy to tell us, and we got to approve. If we didn't approve, that fine Igbo man wouldn't have had you at all. So I knew that Bola Tito would go places. I know that she was a very, very articulate banker. I know the time she would come to me and say, "Auntie, all your monies that you keep in these other banks, your aburo is now at Sky Banco, and then to the bank where Twedo." What's the name of that bank again? Thank you. PHB. Of course, she moved from one bank to the other because she got a lot to offer. So almost all the banks, when banks were banks, were poaching. They were poaching her. They were looking for her. They were taking her. It was a competition. She would call me 6 months later, 1 year later, "Auntie, I've moved. I didn't want to move, but they wouldn't let me rest." And I keep on telling her, "Aburo, you will go places." Here we are. She's really going places. I was so personally touched when she told me where she has chosen to pitch her tent. Because we choose to pitch our tent in different locations. She told me where she chose to pitch her tent. And when she mentioned something that has to do with book review, that has to do with encouraging Nigerians to cultivate the habit and the hobby of book reading. Because without you reading, you can't expand your frontiers. There's no way you can. I'm one of the guilty ones too. My husband loves reading books. God knows how many books that gentleman has read. The latest ones, you ask him, he will tell you the story. And yet he's a pastor and a management consultant. But he must spare time. Every time, even when he's going golfing, because he loves golfing, you will still see one book with him. And I ask him, do you read book on the golf course? And he will tell me it's because you don't know about golf. You don't get to the golf course and start playing right there and then. There are so many golfers that want to play. So you have to wait till it's your turn. And so while waiting, I want to read. And so by the time Olatito told me where she's pitching her tent, believe you me, it occurred to me that we have a lady that is not just beautiful outside, that is not just attractive, but a lady I can call cerebral.
Oh, yes, sir.
Cerebral.
Yes,
I think you should give her a round of applause. For you to decide that your own forte, your own area of interest, your own hobby, where you want to pitch your tent, has to do with a sector that is not that popular, that is even not that easy. Because those of us that do not like reading, I like talking. I mean, I'm a broadcaster. So I get paid by public speaking. I get paid by producing television programs. I get paid by casting news. I get paid by officiating as MCs at big federal government events in Abuja. Often at times they'll pair me up with Mr. Attila or myself and late Ikenanda Goba or Bodiala Lade of the blessed memory, or even Cyril Stover or myself and Eugenia Abu. So we get paid by the job we do. And so I wouldn't fool you by letting you know that there's a Motayo she loves reading. She's a good reader. No, I'm just still trying to catch up. Of course, I do research. You cannot be a good television broadcaster or a producer or a presenter if you don't research. You must research your content. You must research what you want to present to the public. You must do your homework. If you're found wanting in doing that, you can go far. So I know that for sure. I needed to do, and I do that. But when it comes to reading, I take a bow, Bola. I take a bow. Madam Tourism is taking a bow for Bola Tito. Please give her a round of applause. I take a bow. I mean, I just decided to have a very, very different dimension of you. I know that you articulate. I know that you're intelligent. I know you're pretty. But I never knew that you could tell me one day that I want to help Nigerian youths. I want to help a cross-section of Nigerians to cultivate the habit of reading. We don't value books. And really we don't. In the developed economies, they do. Because that's where you get more knowledge. It's not just like listening to the news or checking our phones, being online on the social media 24 hours of the day. No. What you're doing is honorable. What you're doing is desirable. And as pastor's wife, I decree in the authority of the name of Jesus that you are going to go higher. In the authority of the name of Jesus. That you are going to impact lives. And you are going to impact generations. And you will soar above, far above our imagination. In Jesus' mighty name I pray.
City people, say you can't do here, Mom. Hey, Mom, Mama, key, Miss Omoto key, and that's a key on. Of the camaraderie we enjoy too in our own way, like you enjoy your own in sisterhood of the SBC and TVP. That's what we also enjoy in our own.
Excuse me.
So do more.
Ramadan
You no come, how come the let come? Let you to the let go. Like a demon, come on, you got so late. You know about your job, no to let demon. Come to put up the money, no. That's go funny. Now let's get that money. You make the coffee for a cool. Oh, I can't go to my food. I'm a dance, you do so good. I'm a shop, I go, I go, Somebody fẹ́ bí mi.